Today on the Morning Edition, avalanches, rain, and more all battered battered southeast over the weekend. This avalanche was caught on camera. We'll take a look and see how Juneau is faring. Plus, protests across the country and here in Alaska over last week's shooting of a woman in Minneapolis brought out dozens in Fairbanks to brave the bitter cold to express their beliefs. And later, this man was a former inmate of this correctional facility, but has now started a nonprofit and purchased the prison he was incarcerated in with the goal of turning it into a reentry housing campus. We'll take a walk in his shoes and find out his story as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Monday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. A lot of weather happened over the weekend. We've got everything going on in Southeast. We had a lot of snow in South Central. Aaron, what's going on weather-wise now?
Well, we did officially pick up 6 inches of snow accumulation across the Anchorage, or officially as you head across West Anchorage. Of course, higher amounts of that snowfall totals fell as you head through western parts of the Susitna Valley and into the valley as a whole. Now, we are waking up this morning, some light snow flurries to be expected, but most of that snow has come to an end, and we'll see a break in that activity before more snow arrives as we welcome in our Tuesday. 5 degrees is what we're currently sitting at. We've got some breezy conditions, making it feel more like 10 below outside. And you can see those temperatures this morning. Thankfully, not seeing any sub-zero values. Now, we could see a few areas nestled across South Central where those temperatures are sitting below zero, but the vast majority of the region seeing those single-digit and teen lows to start off your Monday morning. So, yes, we are seeing some chilly conditions, but nowhere near that cold weather that we did see last week. And while we are on the dry side to start off your Monday morning, again, we can't rule out some flurry activity, but most of the activity continues out towards southeast, where we've got winter storm watches, flood watches, some high wind concerns, as well as the potential that we could see several inches of snow, rain accumulation, as well as several inches of snowfall as you head through northern parts of the Panhandle. Now, here across South Central, again, we can't rule out some flurry activity throughout the day. Largely expecting highs today to stay in the single digits and teens for the vast majority of South Central, but we will see a warming trend take hold throughout the week. In fact, by week's end, we could be talking about afternoon highs sitting near freezing, which will be a far cry from where the cold conditions sit to this afternoon. 6 degrees in Anchorage for the high, 8 in Palmer, 20 degrees in Whittier, and we are expected highs near freezing out towards Valdez and Cordova with some ongoing snow showers remaining. But again, can't rule out some flurries with those colder conditions remaining, but warmer weather arrives throughout the week. I'll have more on that. And of course, those impacts out towards southeast coming up.
Well, breaking this morning, former Representative Mary Peltola has officially jumped into the Alaska Senate race. She's vying for Senator Dan Sullivan's seat. Peltola made the announcement on her website this morning, a statement on the site saying Peltola is, quote, running for Senate because politicians in Washington are putting themselves and the special interests funding their campaigns first and leaving Alaskans behind. You can read more on that story in just a bit on our website. Impacts in southeast around Juneau have been fairly intense over the weekend, with a lot of evacuations from both flooding issues and avalanche concerns. The Red Cross says 40 people stayed at the Centennial Hall shelter overnight on Saturday, and it remained open and active last night. Thane Road in Juneau did reopen since Saturday, adding a little bit of a bright spot throughout.
Our avalanche hazard remains elevated, but we haven't seen any additional avalanches in the last 24 hours that we've been able to detect with our avalanche detection system that we've installed along Thane Road.
While no avalanches have been detected on Thane Road in the past day or two, multiple avalanches have been confirmed in the Juneau area since these weather conditions started, and the danger continues.
We're continuously monitoring the weather, the forecasted weather, recorded precipitation amounts, recorded snow amounts, and using that to make our decisions on what the avalanche hazard is to Thane Road. Given the current weather outlook, we can expect that the avalanche hazard for Thane Road will remain elevated.
It sounded like a loud rumble, like a jet flying over, like right over the top of your head.
Cameraman working to clear roofs in Juneau got video of an avalanche happening on Friday.
At first, I thought it was just an airplane. Like, I was trying to figure out why everybody was getting excited about an airplane. And I turned around when somebody screamed avalanche and just happened to whip my phone out in time to catch the remainder. It lasted about maybe 2.5 minutes.
A special avalanche statement is coming from the Chugach National Forest Avalanche Center. It says avalanche danger is considerable for the western Chugach and Kenai Mountains and in and around Anchorage, Girdwood, Portage, Turnagain Pass, Summit Lake, Moose Pass, Lost Lake, and Seward. The statement went into effect at 6 a.m. Sunday and continued until 6 a.m. today. It says very large human-triggered avalanches are likely. Over the weekend, the Chugach National Forest Avalanche Center showed us what the snowpack looked like after 8 or so inches of fresh new snow.
This is a little bit wind compressed in this area as we've gotten towards tree line. Underneath that, we have kind of the new snow from the last week and a half or so. And then you can see an obvious difference in the snowpack between these fresh layers and these old sugary faceted layers that have been sitting here, basically for a month in cold temperatures, getting weaker and weaker. In every pit that we've dug so far, we've had the test fail on this weak layer of facets underneath the crust on isolation.
With all the weather situations developing currently, there's never a better time to keep access to new information at your fingertips. On our website and mobile app, we have the latest information in our live blog and all of the latest details as well. 6 people were taken to the hospital after a serious collision on the Parks Highway. Adelmi Ruiz joins us from the newsroom with those details and more.
Kristen, Alaska State Troopers say a woman was injured in a shooting Saturday in Wasilla. The report of a woman with a gunshot wound came in just before 8 a.m. on Saturday. Troopers say the report said she had been shot outside her home in the Meadow Lakes area of Wasilla. AST says the investigation is ongoing and, quote, no ongoing threat to the public has been identified at this time.
The Alaska State Troopers are drawing a line in the snow against mail thieves in Fairbanks. Working with federal postal inspectors, troopers are now deploying bait operations to catch criminals targeting porches and mailboxes. Authorities say the surge is largely driven by the drug crisis as users steal packages to fund addictions.
I will tell you that the Alaska State Troopers are working in conjunction with our criminal suppression unit, with the U.S. Postal inspectors regarding mail theft. We take it pretty seriously, and it's affected me personally. I've had my mail stolen.
Police urge residents to report suspicious vehicles and use the USPS tracking app to monitor their deliveries. Protests happened all across the country and here in Alaska after an ICE agent shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a U.S. citizen in Minneapolis Wednesday. In Fairbanks Friday, over 100 people gathered in the 20-below temperatures, protesting federal immigration crackdowns, holding signs that called for an end to ICE activities. Well, there were a lot of things that had to wait in Fairbanks during the incredibly cold streak of weather, but fortunately, there's no shortage of volunteers that are now willing to get out and help clean up and get things headed back to normal.
Well, things are fairly quiet across South Central this morning. We've got ongoing rain and winds building in across Southeast. I'll have more on what that means for your avalanche concerns. But first at sunrise, 10:01 in Anchorage, 8:36 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
South Central now digging out from all that snow we received over the weekend. As a reminder for those in Anchorage, you can view a live map on the Muni's website showing where the plows are in real time. Just remember when you're out there, give the plows plenty of space. Aaron, you said 6 inches?
Yeah, we officially did see just over 6 inches of snow accumulation across West Anchorage. Higher amounts fell through the Susitna Valley, as well as through parts of northwestern Kenai. Now, we did see several inches, though, through the weekend. It could have been a lot worse, but we did see that heavier snow band set up across western parts of the Susitna Valley. Now, as we transition into a brand new week, we've still got ongoing impacts out towards southeast. That avalanche advisory remains in effect out towards Juneau. This is primarily for the Barrens slide path, as everywhere else is seeing improving conditions, although that avalanche concern still remains with us. We do have a high wind watch for Tuesday evening through Wednesday morning, where we will watch gusts up to 60 miles per hour. This comes ahead of our next area of low pressure that's going to bring some heavy rainfall to the region, and we still got that flood watch in effect here over the next couple of hours for parts of the Panhandle. Now, temperatures are sitting in the 30s and the 40s to start off this morning, so largely expected to see rain in the forecast outside of areas as you head through the Klondike as well as Haines Highway, where we'll largely hold on to some snowfall. And out towards Skagway, there is a winter storm watch where we could see up to about 10 inches of snow accumulation. So outside of those locations, which will continue to remain snow, as well as out towards the Alaska-Canadian border, south towards Hyder, the rest of the Panhandle will hold on to some rainfall, and that rain will increase in intensity into the night as we watch our next storm system build in from the south. And this is where we're going to see some of that heavier rainfall spreading north across the Panhandle. So be prepared overnight into tomorrow for some of that heavier rainfall to arrive across southeast. Now, winds today will be quite gusty at times, although we'll see those stronger winds arrive overnight into your Wednesday, and this is where we are going to see those winds gusting anywhere from about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So be prepared for not only heavy rainfall, but winds that will move in across the Panhandle, and this will continue to lead to additional rain as well as snow melt. That's going to lead to some potential for some flooding. So notice through the middle of the week, we could easily pick up several inches of accumulation across portions of South Central. We'll see that potential for about 1 to 3 inches with some locally heavier amounts. And you can see those temperatures staying in the upper 30s and the lower 40s. While we can't rule out some localized areas of wintry mix, more so into the overnight hours and early morning as those temperatures do drop down into the 30s. Largely expecting rain in the forecast. We do have that snow to the north, though, as you head out towards Skagway, the Klondike and Haines Highway, and then you can see rain and winds expected for areas to the south, and we'll continue to hold on to this active weather for the foreseeable future. You can see up to an inch of rain into your Tuesday. Rain continues into Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, we may see enough cold air to slide into southeast that we'll begin to see a gradual transition back to some rain, snow showers Thursday and Friday. Of course, that will more so be into the evening hours as those temperatures dip down near freezing. So still expecting mostly rain through a large portion of this week. Into the weekend, can't rule out some dry periods. You can see those temperatures sitting in the mid to upper 30s. We'll hold on to some isolated and scattered activity, but this weekend shaping up to be a lot drier than what we've been sitting at across a good portion of the Panhandle.
All right, thanks, Aaron. 6 people were taken to the hospital after a serious collision on the Parks Highway. Adelmi Ruiz joins us now from the newsroom with those details and more. Adelmi.
Kristen, the collision, according to Alaska State Troopers, happened Saturday evening around 6 p.m. on the Parked Highway near Nenana. The troopers said weather and blowing snow are considered to be a contributing factor. The crash was a head-on collision between a Toyota Highlander and a transit van. Troopers say the injuries range from serious to minor and that some had to be extracted from the vehicles. 4 adults and 2 youth were transported to a Fairbanks hospital, where 1 adult was subsequently transferred to a Seattle hospital. The highway was closed for more than 2 hours. And snow has been piling up on Anchorage streets, and multiple inches have come down, and crews work to clear them. This is video from Sunday morning. As of Sunday evening, APD has reported 37 vehicles in distress, 8 crashes, and another 4 crashes with injuries. 1 Anchorage road looks like it has a pond covering 1 lane. APD said on Sunday that 1 lane on part of Elmore Road in Anchorage would be closed for the rest of the day, and still is as of 5:30 this morning. An APD dispatch supervisor said the creek has possibly frozen over and started flooding part of the roadway. APD says the right northbound lane of Elmore is closed between Dowling Road and MLK, saying the conditions are hazardous. The dispatch supervisor said that there was at least 1 vehicle in distress call from around that area on Sunday. Kristen.
All right, thanks, Adelmi. As Fairbanks services were recovering from a weeks-long cold snap, a group of high school students lent a hand in a cleanup effort. Alex Bengal went down to Lathrop High School to learn what motivated them to get involved.
On Monday and Tuesday, the last days of their winter break, 6 students from Lathrop High School, 5 of them from the football team, helped collect piled trash in Fairbanks neighborhoods.
They ended up hauling 36,000 pounds of trash out of there and helping get the neighborhoods back on step, ready to function again this week.
Their coach having no problem finding volunteers.
Within a half hour putting the word out to our players and parents, I had 6 volunteers ready to go work with them.
It doesn't hurt just to take some time out of your way and help out the neighborhood or the city for a little bit.
Give me something to do, and I figured it was something nice since my trash was piled up at home, and I hate it, so I'm pretty sure everyone else hated it, so I figured I would help.
Over 2 days and several hours of work, the volunteers hit areas around the Riverview and Cowles neighborhoods, as well as downtown Fairbanks.
We talk on a regular basis about being good citizens and doing things to be helpful and good to everybody around us, and so this was a natural fit.
It's something to implanted us, just kind of just like making sure that we can help out too, even if we're busy. You know, we can take some out of our time.
Community members finding their own way to return the favor.
We were just picking up trash and whatnot, and a guy came by, gave us food, and it was really nice of him.
Alex Bengal, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.